Hello everyone, and welcome to another FastTrack update. Hopefully, most of you already know me, but for those of you who don't, my name is Humbik, and I'm one of the senior consultants at Intentra. Continuing on from one of my previous updates around Zero Trust, this month I'm focusing on the all-important topic of security again. In the coming months, I'll start diving deeper into the 6 foundational elements of Zero Trust, starting off this month with identity. Keep watching to find out what capabilities are available within Microsoft 365 and Azure AD to help secure your identity across the organization, and make sure you check out my previous FastTrack updates as I've covered off a lot of content over the months to help you on your M365 journey. Buckle up, and here we go! As a result of the shift of cloud applications and the mobile workforce, organizations can no longer rely on traditional network controls for security. Controls need to move to where the data is, on devices, inside applications, and with partners. Identities, representing people, services, or devices, are the common denominator across today's many networks, endpoints, and applications. In the Zero Trust security model, they function as a powerful, flexible, and granular way to control access to data. So how do you control access to the data with identity? Take note of these 6 objectives. Federate on-premises identities with the cloud. Implement conditional access policies as the decision point before access is granted. Improve visibility with analytics. Implement identity governance. Analyze behavior in real time. And integrate threat signals from other security solutions to improve detection, protection, and response. So what does all this mean? Keep watching to find out more. Azure AD enables strong authentication, a point of integration for endpoint security, and the core of your user-centric policies to guarantee least privilege access. This is achieved in 4 ways. Number 1, connect all of your users to Azure AD and federate with on-premises identity systems, but make sure the authentication model you choose is right for your organization. Number 2, establish your identity foundation with Azure AD by putting Azure AD at the path of every access request. Number 3, integrate all your applications with Azure AD, as SSO will prevent users from leaving copies of credentials in various applications. And number 4, verify explicitly with strong authentication using Azure MFA, and also make sure to block legacy authentication protocols. Conditional access analyzes signals such as user, device, and location to automate decisions and enforce organizational access policies. Planning your conditional access policies in advance and having a set of active and fallback policies is a foundational pillar of your access policy enforcement in a Zero Trust deployment. In a mobile-first, cloud-first world, your users access your organization's resources from anywhere. As a result, focusing on who can access a resource is no longer enough. You also need to consider where the user is, the resource being accessed, and even the device being used. Combined with conditional access policies, consider registering your devices with Azure AD using Azure AD Join or Hybrid Azure AD Join to restrict access from vulnerable and compromised devices. Finally, enroll your devices into Intune. The more you know about them, such as patch levels, or if they're jailbroken, the more you are able to trust or mistrust them and provide a rationale for why you block or allow access. As you build your presence in Azure AD with authentication, authorization, and provisioning, it's important to have strong operational insights into what is happening in the directory. Deploying an Azure AD reporting and monitoring instance allows you to analyze logs from Azure AD directly from within Azure AD or through the integration of a SIEM platform such as Azure Sentinel. Some of the benefits of Azure AD reporting and monitoring include determining how apps and services are used, detecting potential risks affecting the health of your environment, being able to troubleshoot issues preventing your users from getting their work done, and finally, gaining insights by seeing audit events of changes to your Azure AD directory. Identity governance provides you with capabilities to ensure that the right people have the right access to the right resources. Identity governance across Azure AD can be accomplished by following these 4 steps. Secure privileged access with privileged identity management. Now keep in mind that in a digitally transformed organization, privileged access is not only administrative access, but also application owner or developer access that can change the way your mission critical apps run and handle data. Restrict user consent to applications to ensure that no unnecessary exposure occurs of your organization's data to applications. Use entitlement management to create access packages that users can request as they join different teams and projects, and that assigns them access to the associated resources. And finally, who would have thought passwords would become a thing of the past? But using passwordless authentication can help reduce the risk of phishing and password attacks. Analyzing user device, location, and behavior in real time is critical for determining risk and protection. The following 5 steps can be followed to ensure real-time analysis is achieved across your Azure AD presence. Number 1, enable Azure AD password protection for your users in the cloud and on-premises to eliminate bad passwords. Number 2, deploy identity protection to investigate risk and confirm compromise. Number 3, enable MCAS integration with identity protection, as this will inform Azure AD about what happened to the user after they authenticated and received the token. Number 4, enable conditional access integration with MCAS to monitor sessions going to SaaS applications. And finally, number 5, enable restricted sessions across SharePoint Online and Exchange Online that allows a user to read emails or view files, but not download them and save them on an untrusted device. Finally, consider deploying the following technologies across your organization to further strengthen the identity pillar across your Zero Trust model. Number 1, integrate Microsoft Defender for Identity with Microsoft Cloud App Security, or MCAS, to allow Azure AD to know that the user is indulging in risky behavior while accessing on-premises resources. And finally, number 2, enable Microsoft Defender for Endpoint, which allows you to react to a malware attack at near real time. Also, combining the Defender for Endpoint deployment with conditional access policies allows for only secure, healthy devices to access corporate resources. And there you have it. Everything you need to know about strengthening the identity pillar as you begin your Zero Trust journey. If you'd like to know more or need assistance with deploying any of the identity protection capabilities across your organization, please feel free to get in contact with me at the email address below to discuss how FastTrack can assist, and I'll see you at the next FastTrack update.